I
This
mean,
is
I've already
before
started.
before we start. Oh, we already started? Okay, well, let me say this real quick. I saw this funny meme about Beyoncé yesterday. So it
Oh,
said
oh
it said,
no.
"So Beyoncé really sold y'all
Yeah.
concert tickets just to film y'all at the concert to sell y'all
Yes.
movie tickets to watch her." And she just
Yeah.
dropped that movie,
Where
dog.
is
I thought that was funny.
Fair.
where is my fan? My Beyonce
Oh.
fan. Because I definitely, and I haven't going to go see the movie, but I will go see the movie to watch me watch her watch.
That's
Because
hilarious.
it was one of the most transcendent concerts I've
That's
ever been to.
I
It
That's
heard,
was just,
awesome.
yeah.
That's
it was
dope.
just so like, I don't know. This album, I put in some
Mhm.
hours, some
Mm.
absolute hours, and so it was like when she announced the tour, it was like I have no choice. Like I have to see it realized.
Yeah.
And she wasn't
Yeah.
coming out with music videos. She didn't have no visuals,
Mm-mm.
no nothing. It was just like all on the tour. And she represented for like the LGBTQ community where she has never done to that magnitude. So it was let me shut up.
No,
No, that's
that's
what's up.
all.
It
That's
was
all.
it was
That's all.
phenomenal. It was just like it was a true experience. It was really great.
Mhm.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. Honestly, it's been interesting because at least I know in LA, uh, especially with the strikes going on at that time, it seemed
Mhm.
like Taylor Swift and Beyonce just like saved the economy
Right. Yeah.
because
Oh,
they
for
brought their tour to
sure.
the town and like that generated so many jobs. It was just like
Yeah.
everybody, we needed all hands on deck to make those shows work and to get people. Like I got more work as a rideshare driver, for sure.
Mm.
But like all industries, it kind of like, that old expression, high tide, it raises all ships or whatever. They just,
Mhm.
Mhm.
them just putting on that tour definitely gave us an economy boost. So that was really cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool
it
to
was
I was
witness.
gonna
awesome.
say, you being in LA and your rideshare job, all the like premieres that y'all have out there, all the like concerts and all that stuff's gotta be
Hmm.
great for that during
Yeah,
that time.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. It's really one of our busier times. It's really fun.
Mhm.
And I always think I'm gonna dread it because I'm like, I gotta go into work today and it's gonna be busy and like people are gonna be rude or whatever. And people usually are just excited and they're just having a great time. And so yeah, I've really been enjoying that aspect of it for sure.
Mhm.
Um I promised I wouldn't say but I
Too late.
wanted to somewhere in my brain, that part of my brain that likes that word is just like, you'll never get rid of me.
Stay where you belong. In my memories.
I will never be a memory.
It's really tough. It's
It's
really tough.
tough.
I
It's
know
a
for me, if I know for me, in order to like stop from because I say as well, in order for me to stop that, what I tend to do is I repeat the same exact thing I said twice. So I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's cool. Like I'll
That's
say
where
it.
that comes from.
So
Just got some
that
insight
I
into
I
Drado.
repeat stuff so I don't say because I will if I have nothing like to add on to it. That's
that
funny
is
that you said
That's
that.
actually,
hilarious.
I might have to steal that. I'll have to try that. Any trick to get past these transition words? And like are the
Mhm.
popular ones in my vocabulary. And listening to episode 0, I remember being like, oh, dude. You said like 80
Yeah,
times.
absolutely.
85 times.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, this is what it is
Honestly,
now.
honestly, when you were doing that, I think I was what was it? It was a certain term or an ad lib I was saying over and over whenever we was talking. I don't remember what it was, but I think it would be funny if we do catch that in any show or future shows that we do like a counter at the
Account.
bottom.
Yes. Oh, for
Phil-
sure.
Phil's counter.
Right.
Yeah.
Please
It's
help
a must.
these struggling actors with their diction. Please help their vocabulary. I almost did it there, but I didn't. Well, anyway,
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you guys just for the sake of this practice, this mock
Yeah.
podcast episode. What do you think makes a good podcast, and what are some of your favorites? Like, what draws you to a podcast?
Mm. What draws me to a podcast is relatability. Feeling as
That's
though
true.
like I not only could have a conversation with these people, but want to have a conversation with these people. To have someone enlighten you on a lot of different things, as well as feel the same like you. You know what I mean? Like not exactly like you, but like can relate or know exactly where I'm coming from in terms of they may be able to express their feelings about a particular topic that in a way I had never thought about or can't form the words to say.
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they make you like really, really think about certain choices or, like all of those things. I think that's what makes a great podcast. Some that stand out to me, one in particular is The Read.
Mhm.
I feel like they're disbanded at the moment, right? Or maybe they're just on hiatus, we'll say.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's like talking to like two of your best friends, honestly, and them coming from a standpoint of um, Black is excellence, uh, queer is everything,
Mhm.
and it's just they have a very comedic look at your thoughts,
Mhm.
which I think is like really really cool. And if it's not your terms of thinking, they have a very good way of explaining theirs. But 9 times out of 10, like you're like that makes perfect sense. Um, they're really really fun to listen to. They do certain things like one of their running gags is Kid Fury, who is a gay black 30 something,
Okay.
will um, talk from a standpoint of what happened in sports recently. He knows nothing about sports, but he's faking it as if he's an expert.
Mhm.
Love
And
that.
so the exchange between now Crystal, who is a queer female,
Mhm.
um, she knows everything about sports. And so she kind of asks him questions knowing he doesn't know the answer to. And she'll ask him certain things like, what is a running back? And he will give his best made up, like, what it's really, really cool to listen to those two just be best friends on air. So
Mhm.
that's what I love.
No, that's dope. I honestly agree with what you said about it being relatable. I think that's why I gravitate to podcasts. And the only time I really have time to even listen to podcasts is when I'm driving or if I'm like sitting down doing nothing at home. But
Yeah.
um normally because and I think that was one thing that made me want to get into audiobooks as well because I prefer to listen to stuff rather than watch for
Mm.
some reason.
Mhm.
But I uh I feel like what gravitates me towards podcasts is the stuff that I'm interested in. So I think something I can relate to, but also like just my interests. So I'm
Mhm.
into like nerdy things, comics, um Marvel, DC, anime, like those are the things I'm into, movies, cartoons. And if I could, or also anything in regards to acting as well, if I could find something in those categories, then I'm probably going to tune in.
Mhm.
The podcasts that I listen to, I actually started listening to them when Disney Plus started doing their TV shows for Marvel MCU. they started doing episodes like recaps or
Oh yeah.
talking about the shows. The name of the podcast is X-Ray Vision,
Yeah.
and it was as soon as Falcon and Winter Soldier came out. I was the one, and I've always been this way. I watch things as soon as it drops. I don't like being spoiled by anything.
Ah.
The curse to that is I don't have nobody to talk to about it because no one has seen it yet.
Yeah.
So, since I can't talk to anybody about it, like, man, I can't post nothing on social media because I don't want to be that guy. I can't talk to nobody about it because I hate to be that guy. So, who can I talk to or listen to who also has seen this? And I tend to not enjoy reviews on YouTube because I don't know. Sometimes they come off as a little cloudy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It comes off like fake in a sense. Like they don't really know anything about it and they only watched it because it's popular.
Right,
But
yeah.
I discovered this group or this podcast called X-Ray Vision. It's hosted by Jason Concepcion and Rosie Knight. And they dive deep into the stuff, like really deep, to the point where I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that when I was watching that episode, or just certain things that I either missed and I go back and watch and be like, oh, they were right. How did I miss that? So it's just like
Yeah.
I can listen and kind of talk to them as I'm talking to myself at the same time, as if I'm there with them in a sense. But no, they always cover like the popular nerdy stuff that I'm into, and I think that's what kept me engaged. They drop twice a week, 2 episodes a week, and it's always, and with Marvel's MCU shows back then, they were dropping stuff every, like, consistently. Like it was like as soon as a show was over, okay, here comes another one a month later. Like they were really on it. So it was always something to listen to when they were out during that time, especially during the pandemic. That's when I started listening to them. It was very entertaining, and again, because I couldn't really speak about it towards nobody without spoiling, it was good to at least see or hear, I guess, someone else talking into it in a very deep way, the way that I would love to talk to it, instead of just this, oh, it was good, I enjoyed it. Well, why'd you enjoy it? Like, I want to talk more about it.
Yeah.
But that's me though.
That's cool. No, that's real cool. All very good points. All very good points. Yeah, I would say that I would build upon everything that was said by both of you, and just say that, like, it's funny that those things came up. Like the way Skip had just phrased it, it reminded me of, like, typically who I look for in like a date or something. Like it's like you want somebody that you have some common ground with, right? But you don't want them to be a carbon copy of you. You want them to have like some things that they can bring to the table that you're like, huh, I never really considered that. That's pretty fucking cool. Or why do you feel that way? And so I do enjoy that element as well. I also do enjoy sort of just, they have like, it just helps when they're relatable. It helps when they feel genuine. That's something you both touched on. Just like not feeling like, all right, we're only doing this because this is what's popular. And even if that is the case, if you'll be honest about that, I will appreciate you. Something I also enjoy is people that don't take themselves seriously. Like, it's cool to have a passion for whatever it is you have a passion for and speak on it. But when you have this sense of self-importance, it pushes me away from you. But when you're able to when you're the first one to make fun of yourself, I just have a great time with that. I'm like, that's somebody I want to support. That's like, whether it's a musician or an actor or podcast or whatever. Like, it's just something about people who they're willing to take the piss out of themselves, just really endear themselves to me. So those are things I definitely look for. So again, going off of what was brought up, like I do kind of find podcasts typically by interest. And so my favorites have been The Weekly Planet with Mr. Sunday Movies and his best friend Mason. And I love that one because, again, they're best friends. So like, they're just like, James, who is Mr. Sunday Movies, and he gets a lot of crap for like what he titled it, but he's just like, it's just a name. I picked it. I used to make the content on Sunday and whatever, but it doesn't matter. But he's he's so self-deprecating and so fun, but like he always had his homie Mason there to help him from the start, and like there's something about their natural rapport. They're just both naturally funny guys. And they just get on. Their chemistry is just off the charts, and so they make fun of each other. They correct each other. They agree sometimes. They disagree a lot of times as well. And just
Wait, what is their name?
The Weekly Planet. It's Mr. Sunday Movies and his friend Mason. Mr.
Okay,
Sunday.
I think I know this. Did they have a debate recently about like Pop Tarts and what his favorite Pop Tart was, and he was upset?
They might. That sounds like something they would get into. I haven't heard their most recent episode. But yeah. No.
Sorry. I think I know what you're talking about.
No, that's great. They're both Australian. They have Australian accents because those are no. Okay, then the different guys. But
different guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they're from Australia. They're into all this comic book movie adaptation stuff. They review old video games as well every once in a while. And so they have this podcast, and I just love listening to them because they just genuinely make me laugh. Like I came here because like I think I found them via YouTube, and I think I found them through my older brother Ray, and like he was watching them around the time Man of Steel came out. And Man of Steel was a controversial comic book movie, and so there are lots of opinions that Mr. Sunday had about it, but he was fair. He wasn't just there to dog it, and he wasn't just there to be like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. And that's also something I appreciate about both of them, is that they will have a nuanced opinion about things. Like a lot of their reviews are very kind of middling. They're like, it was fine. Like it was fine. And they'll go into it. They're like, this part I really liked. This part was kind of dumb. And like, I don't see a lot of nuance in reviews anymore. It's usually, and they make fun of this with, they rate, their rating system is best thing ever, worst thing ever. Right. So like best movie ever, worst movie ever. And it's a commentary because that's how people are. When you watch reviews now, it's like it's either it's fire or it's trash. And they say that, but then they actually go into detail and tell you how they actually feel about it. And I appreciate people who take the time to do it. It's also what I love about it's not a podcaster, but Yahtzee from the Escapist magazine. He does Zero Punctuation. He reviews video games. And he goes in on video games, but he's fair. He has multiple points, and he's not just all negative or all positive. He's mostly negative. But no, I love the Weekly Planet just because they make me laugh. I also listen to, again, going back to interest, I listened to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. I loved Smallville when I was younger, and he played Lex Luthor on Smallville, Michael Rosenbaum, and he also voiced Wally West Flash in the DC animated universe and Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Done a bunch of cool stuff, and he just has a guest every week, and he interviews a different entertainer, like whether they're an actor or a musician, whatever it is they do. He'll do these great interviews, and it's called Inside of You, which obviously is a little innuendo, but like, and he has that kind of mind, but mostly it's called Inside of You because he wants to know, like, not just the nuts and bolts of what you do, but he wants to know the psychological effect it has on you. Like, do you deal with depression? Do you deal with anxiety? Like, what is it like to be a lead on a TV show? And like, what did that do to your family life? Like, he'll ask those questions and let them go as far as they want to go. And they'll set their own boundaries. And I think that's really cool to listen to. So those are my two main ones. I also listen to Talkville, which also is Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling talking about reviewing Smallville episodes. So that's kind of fun. But yeah,
did you say Talkville or Talkville?
Talkville.
Okay, that's what I heard correctly.
That's a good thing. I don't know how well my diction is coming across. So, no, not talk. I don't think I would listen to anything called Talkville. I barely watched. I barely watched Phil of the Future. Like, I don't know. Like, having my name involved isn't really isn't really a seller for me. Though Phil Coulson's dope. That was great.
Okay.
I'm a Phil Coulson fan.
Got you.
Dope. But yeah, I think like when it comes to a lot of different podcasts, them having that sense of enlightenment, right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to
yeah.
feel as though like, damn, I didn't know that, or to have your mind expanded because they are
Mm.
really expanding on the thought or what is at the surface, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I think that's what, because you take away a whole lot more information than you went in with. And I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
true.
really, really cool. And then to your point, Phil, like them having that sense of self-awareness
Yeah.
and just like understanding how they're coming off, and
Hmm.
that helps a lot of the time too, because they can poke at themselves when um they know the audience looked at them in a particular way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know I might sound a little crazy, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, it's those moments that I feel like people really gel with and vibe
Hmm.
with. So
No,
Yes.
see,
I
when
definitely
once you
agree.
find that
100%.
in a podcast, it's just dope. It's cool
Hmm.
because you could listen to that person talk like all day long, or
Hmm.
um when you trying to fill the space, you know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and then
Plenty
you're
of
able
road
to like take
trips.
those talking points other places, and it's like
Yeah.
which is
Hmm.
really, really cool. Like, have you ever thought about it this way? Or when you see someone wearing a shirt, like, and that shirt represents like the topic that you just thought about. Like, it opens you up to be able to have these conversations that you wouldn't otherwise had. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty cool.
Hmm. And then put people on so who haven't,
And put
ever
people
checked them
on.
out. Yeah, and get
Yeah.
that word out that,
No, that was
this
my
this
thought.
this is this is a good
I
podcast you
thought
should
that.
check out. I recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm gonna save this
You said
recording.
my thought.
I'm definitely I'm definitely going to
That was all me. I came up with that.
I took my thought and I put it in your head.
And I
Did
put
you
it in
see it?
your head.
Did you
Authored,
think it?
authored by Skipper Finn.
I have given you the rights to this thought.
Right, right.
That's a good place to stop. Thanks for listening, everybody.
That's hilarious.
No, seriously, this has been a fun test of the what's our podcast called? What's our podcast called? We'll maybe air this someday, maybe we won't. Bye.
Hard mode selected.